We'd like to welcome all of you again to this presentation, which is our 245th broadcast here this evening. Welcome to the Issues Room. I look a little bit old tonight, and it's all because we're in the serious sun here today on the East Coast. I'm sure many places in America. So imagine if the East Coast is this hot. Think about Nevada, think about Arizona, think about Texas, because right now, as I speak to you, it's extremely hot over the last several days, and I don't know how long this is going to last. So my face look a little fatigued because that's what it is. You know, the sun. You remember President Bwaka Fintech? So I about more about us, who on his side too. The heat here is no joke. But we'd like to welcome you wherever you are. We'll say welcome to this broadcast. Is a great show tonight. We'll be doing community service. We'll be raising some funds here tonight to support rural schools in Liberia. And so schools in rural Liberia or rural schools in Liberia, it doesn't matter. And we say thank you so much for joining us. Please share the link. Please invite so many people here tonight. I know that education is one of the main ingredients of good governance in our country. If we can educate more people, they'll understand the purpose and the being in society, and they can be greater contributors. So we want to encourage you, please, 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 join us here tonight as we raise some funds for purchasing of benches, of instructional materials, educational supplies, chairs, and those kinds of things for schools in rural Liberia. So we'll hold this conversation tonight. Of course, a little bit of politics and what type of country is this? Our humorous segment and the memory lane brought to us by Dr. Mane Sumo. Again, we say thank you. The Issues Room is here on Tuesdays and Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we made it our duty to do this together, and we can't be here without you being there. Please let us know you're here. We appreciate your comments in the chat room. We appreciate you calling in when necessary, and we hope that a lot of you will call in tonight when we go into the fundraiser. And also, you can make your contribution by posting in the chat so that at least we'll have that on record, so you can say, "Oh, I didn't promise to support." We'll have the Cash App number. We'll do everything here tonight to make sure that whatever it is you can give, even if it's $1 a day, it makes a difference. So we say thank you so much for joining us. Hashim Fambule, Raymond Clark, please help to share the link. Our studio guest tonight is Miss Menekeh PShorr Giddings. We hope that she's sharing the link from her end right now, that the show is live. So we encourage you. Moses Sandy will share the link. Alphonso Yenu will share the link. We're all going to share the link here tonight to make sure that we increase the audience here so that we can raise some monies for this lofty cause. Let me bring in Moses and Alfonso. In the meantime, our guests will remain backstage. We're not starting that fundraiser right now. We want to just start the conversation around a few things before we bring her to kind of elevate the audience. So, Moses, Alfonso, good evening. Welcome, gentlemen. How's the heat? I'm telling you, it's extremely hot. You can see it in my face. It's just too hot.
Yeah, 100% right. On the East Coast, extremely hot. I mean, I woke up this morning by 7:30, and my air is running, but I'm like feeling the heat. So I thought the air conditioner, had a problem. When I went upstairs, I noticed all the air is, the temperature in the house is like 73, but it is so hot, and it is working. But when I step outdoor, man, I came right back in. I can imagine Volcano, 7 o'clock in the morning. You're talking about over 90 degrees, my man, so it's very, very hot. Air conditioners are working overtime. In fact, this morning I was listening to the news. I heard this story about the city of Philadelphia, designated areas that people, who don't have running air conditioner, where they could go and seek refuge. And then I said to myself, oh, wow, this is very, very serious.
I'm thinking air refuge now, cool air
I
refuge.
tell you, man, I said, man, if you don't have air conditioner, come and sit here for now, and then later you can go home because I mean there are a lot of people who don't have running system in Philadelphia.
Okay, let's hear from Alfonso.
Yeah,
Definitely true. Definitely true, guy. First of all, glad to be here with you all and for this very worthy cause that we'll be talking about. But in terms of the heat, yes, I'm sitting right in front of the air conditioner at home right now because it's blazing hot. I step outside and I ran back inside. Um,
yeah,
yeah, I took the kids to social event, which I have to go pick them up later. But I had to run back inside immediately because it was just I couldn't stay outside. It's hot,
so
and that's what governments you talk about. City of Philadelphia and other cities around the U.S. providing places for people to go and cool off. Swimming pools are open. Kids can go swim. People can go to places to cool off. Library and all of that thing. I think that's a very important point, and the one key point I want to make to that is that exactly is the essence of government.
that's
What
true.
government exists to do to cater to the needs of its people. I hope our people see and hear these things and learn from them. And that
Yeah,
dovetails into the conversation we'll be having later, which is, individual citizens stepping in and helping people. And I hope government can also add a hand to all of the efforts that individuals are doing so it can be public private partnership to help our people.
Thank you, thank you. So,
thank
uh,
you.
and one of the things I want to also talk about as I was contemplating it, the emerging of the finance ministry and the Ministry of Planning and Economic Affairs that Ellen changed the name to Development Planning and joined the two. When I was in Liberia practicing as a journalist, I covered a lot of the NGO sectors because I did public relations for the New African Research and Development Agency, NARDA. And so I had a closer proximity to national and international organizations, meaning nonprofit organizations. And the Ministry of Planning and Economic Affairs, its relationship with the NGO sector, rather, in the country was defined and it was clear. But merging the two ministries, meaning taking planning and adding it to finance that has always struggled, on its own, to merge two disciplines and put them under one minister who may be just a banker or one who is specialized in finance. To me, it has killed the purpose. And I want to be accusatory tonight, and you don't have to agree with me. But I believe that Ellen Johnson Sirleaf took that unilateral decision to do that because in the relationship of the non-profit sector and the Ministry of Planning, especially the international donors, the planning ministry will be able to work with the local NGOs, partner with them, and hold them accountable. And even as that, the relationship was so robust to the point that they had a go-to, meaning the international donors will have a place to go to make sure that implementation of projects were being done. By removing that, it took away the oversight from my perspective, considering what I knew and the relationship between the Ministry of Planning and Economic Affairs and its role in dealing with the international community. It took away that oversight, it took away that transparency, and it tied it into the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, putting it under just the finance part. And so we don't see a good relationship of the international community, the international NGOs like the Dutch Interchurch Aid, the YMC, the YWC, all these top international organizations that were involved with Liberia and helping to support smaller local NGOs to implement projects on the grounds that were impactful to the survivability of our people. We see a stark difference today. Really no functioning NGOs in the country that is helping to take some of that responsibility from government And especially during the weird time after she walked away, all of those things changed. And it has changed to the point that you cannot really find international NGO presence on the grounds. So I was just thinking that I may be wrong, but I knew what the relationship was, and I saw that period of relationship between international, local partners, and the Minister of Planning and Economic Affairs. At the time, the minister was Emilio Ward, if you guys remember the name. Uh, but I don't see that today. And so it was just something that I was thinking about, that those two ministries have different responsibility and they must be separate entities. We tend to merge things and put people with one set of the discipline or one side of the credential to manage, you know, a conglomeration of institutions that should be separate with specialities of different people, and we put it on the one person, and that person only function in the lane that they're capable of, and so it kills the other sector. And I thought to just bring that out as part of our quick conversation before we delve into the main show. um I don't know your take.
Yeah, Moses, did you want to go or do you want me to
No,
go?
yeah, go. I will come there.
All right. So the idea of combining planning and finance is not a bad idea. In fact, it's an emerging trend in developing countries to combine finance and development planning because, of course, finance um, development, when you plan development, has to be in line with finance, with the taxes you're generating, all of that. When you make budget, it has to be in line with the needs of the country and the needs of the communities and stuff. So combining finance and development planning as a concept is not a bad thing. But you struck an important point. And that important point is, who do they put in those places? Who do they put in places to lead and to do that type of work? So as you said, if you find somebody who's just a finance person and not so much a development person, or you just put people there for the sake of putting people there, then you defeat the real purpose, the reason for even doing that. Because development in a country is the responsibility of the government. The NGOs and other people are coming to assist. So the government has to develop its development agenda program along the lines of its revenue generation. And then it presents that to the international partners and even NGOs who can then assist along those lines. So the concept is not bad, but again, the way they did it and they've been doing it, and as you correctly said, Volcano, especially on the Georgia, it was just, let's just put anybody there. For example, the deputy minister, they used to have the finance minister, deputy for planning or something. There's a deputy of planning or something that finance. That's the portfolio of, coming from Ministry of Planning, for example. And then even the LRA, the LRA director used to be the deputy for revenue. Now
Yeah.
it's LRA. So
Mhm.
all of these sort of conceptual, structural changes are not the problem, in my view. Is the type of people we put there and the way we have been utilizing it to just siphon money out of the system and not do any real planning.
But let me just add this part to it quick. So
Yeah.
then, if you contemplate that, then it means that the part I'm talking about with the presence of NGOs in the country to
Mhm.
take away some of that work from government and help in the leeward counties and help in the locales to ensure that people are being improved by the different sectors. For instance, in rehabilitation, people getting tailoring skills, people getting agriculture skills, people getting building masonry, all of that. You don't find that easily. Everybody now is just opening their own makeshift little schools here and there,
Mhm.
and they're struggling to keep those schools open. And the support is not coming in because the NGOs have disappeared, because the Ministry of Finance is only there to disburse money, is only there to collect from the LRA and make the legislator feel good, make the executive feel good, and this is where we are.
Yeah, and you're right, which is not supposed to be the case, but they seem to just be focused on that, which is wrong. You know.
So then there's not a need for those two ministries to merge if we can find the right expert to be able to balance the equation, because this is like twin kids. They're breastfeeding on two breasts. You can't just breastfeed one side and then and to be frank with you, the disbursement of money is way weaker in terms of what it gives out and not bringing back compared to development, Moses, coming.
Look, what the both of you have said, I agree with you. Look, let's be human here. No matter how smart you are, it is overwhelming to be Minister of Finance and Development Planning. That's a very huge entity. Some of us will have the opportunity of just being a part of program management. When you have too many people that you have to contend with, you know how challenging that can be. There are expectations from funders, there are expectations from the federal, there are expectations from family members, and at the same time making sure that people are held accountable. So you just one person, and then you have a minister of finance, development planning. Like you said, this guy is an economist. Everybody coming to this guy with issues of fiscal management, fiscal demands. Oh, we need money for bone county. We need money for public works. We need money for the Ministry of State. The president has to make this straight. That makes the job very, very difficult. And why this person is also responsible for planning. Like Alfonso said, there is a deputy minister for planning at the Ministry of Finance. Now, because it's only a deputy minister that is head of a little unit at the finance ministry, the oversight that you talk about, because the role of the Ministry of Finance, I mean the role of the Ministry of Planning is to design, is to formulate the government developmental agenda, and doing that in keeping with available resources. They may say, "Oh, well, you look, we have 10,000 people in Tompo village, so it is important that at least we build one high school, one elementary school, and we need a hospital." So all of these programs are designed, and then the government raises the money to LRA, and the Ministry of Finance makes the disbursement. But now what we see happening is that you have a deputy minister, and if you are not fortunate to have a finance minister who is willing to listen to you, your ideas, your ideas will not be listened to. And when that happens, the planning component of the finance ministry goes missing. Like the non-profits you're talking about, Volcano, you need people with oversight. That you came, you say, oh, well, you want to implement program for the poor. You want to run this educational program. But we noticed that you said you spent $200,000 in Bone County, when in fact you only went to one little village. How did you spend the $200,000? What do you have to monitor? What do you have to track? What do you have to supervise these things? Of course, nothing. That's why you see underperformance in the non-profit area.
And
Let me stop there.
the point I want to add also, and I think Alfonso is back, is that from what I have experienced going to Liberia,
Mhm.
there is a shortage of NGO. And agree with me here that all of the NGOs were not there as great development partners, especially the local ones who were established just to put monies in their pocket. But there was to some degree of accountability, and it was necessary. It
Mhm.
was necessary for the partners to come and do their own overview and do assessment to make sure that if not even 90%, but at least 80% of what was promised to be done within the confines of the monies given, the donor aid given, were done. In this case, as you can see right now, especially in the We Are in Ellen time, they created their own internal personal organizations,
Yeah, yeah.
money away from
Mhm.
self-government, and pretend to be the ones implementing these projects.
Yes.
Is Nathaniel McGill and the road project. Take for
Yeah.
instance this whole listing that Ellen started, with saying that they're managing government's project. And instead of President Baka coming and squash it, he also keeping that. When you could find, uh, uh, non-profit organizations hold them accountable, devolve that responsibility to them, and whatever percentage they get for upkeep of the organization, but at least you have someone you can hold accountable, not within government.
Absolutely.
You got all of these legislators who are establishing their own bogus companies and taking contract, and they did it so openly that it was so bad that they will start a foundation for a project, a national project, and the foundation just remain there and they can't go further. They've eaten more of the money or most of the money, and there's nothing that can come out of it because they're all in the game together. This is
Yeah.
why we have gone nowhere with this whole poverty reduction strategy, this development plan, the emergence of the Ministry of Planning, and Economic Affairs, and merging it with the Ministry of Finance. We're just stuck in this quagmire, and we're making no headways. And this becomes business as usual if you don't study this situation and see the gains and say, listen, it's time that we change this. We need to take new paths. We need to look at it. Why do we have international community presence here? Where are the NGOs? How are we going to reach up to the NGOs again and say, listen, we want to do some things here that we don't have the capacity to do. We want to partner with you, but we want you to have full responsibility. That's not happening because government officials have become NGOs in Liberia, and they're enjoying making this money at the expense and detriment of the Liberian people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what happening. Yeah. In fact, quickly before I go, I am told, and you go to Liberia on a regular basis, when people are soliciting
You mean, oh, okay.
proposals for programs, the guys who's supposed to be reviewing those proposals, who's supposed to be doing the monitoring and evaluation, they tell you, say, hey, we need 10%.
Mhm.
So if I'm running a non-profit and I get $100,000 for a project, and somebody tells me say they need $10,000 of that money, and I give that money, obviously that person is compromised. How is that person going to know what I said I was going to do for the people of Tumbo Village? I did it or not? The person will show little or no interest because the person has already gotten 10% of the money. And that's what's happening in the country. People are literally taking money and not performing. You see? I just wanted to throw that out there.
I think we should move quickly. Volcano, you running the show. So, but I wanted an opportunity to just quickly say here that I think there are two issues here. One is the structure. The other is the corruption within the structure.
Yeah,
So my position was that the structure itself, creating that structure is not bad. In fact, it's a trend in developing countries because you want to match your resources with your development agenda. I mean, NGOs will come and assist. As a matter of fact, you reach out to NGOs and non-governmental organizations, intergovernmental organizations, etc., based upon your development planning. So
absolutely.
that's why you want to merge those two things. So it's not a bad idea. It's the international trend. But I totally agree with you guys. The corruption in the process has simply undermined the effectiveness of the concept. So as I said,
Absolutely.
for example, in the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, they have a minister proper who's just the administrative head. They have the
Right.
Department of Economic Management.
Mm-hmm.
They have the Department of Budget and Development Planning. So you link
Planning,
your
yeah.
budget to your national development planning goals. And then of course they have the Department of Administration. So those two key development agencies were drawn from the Ministry of Commerce and not Ministry from the Ministry
Minister
of
of Planning.
Planning and Development. Yeah. So you have the two components: Department of Economic Management and the Department of Budget and Development Planning. Now, the minister, if he's doing his work correctly, shouldn't be usurping or stepping on the functions of those things because they were created by an act of the legislature with specific functions, duties, and powers. But again, because of the level of corruption and the level of mismanagement we've had in government, some of these structures that are created are not effective. They haven't become effective and they're not effective, unfortunately. It begins with the type of people we put in those positions, their qualifications, and also just point blank corruption. So I totally agree with that one.
Let me just put this in so we wrap
Yeah,
up on this. But I
yeah.
thought about it in the concept of Liberia borrowing from America. We've borrowed everything from America. The structure of our government and governance sector is borrowed from America. To get a federal job here in America is like you got to go through hell and back. There's a lot of stringent measures put in place
Yeah,
that
rigorous process.
very rigorous process that you must meet to get a
Mhm.
job. If Liberia is serious about moving forward, then the government cannot be the biggest employer. You and I are working in America because there's a private sector, and within the private sector, there are NGO sector. I've worked for one NGO organizations since I've been here, and I've done well by myself. Uh, there is that thought that yes, NGOs don't pay well, which of course is human services, but at least it's decent enough for me to live a fulfilling life. And where does the government of Liberia come in to make working for the government highly competitive, rigorous, and then take most of the gains of the government and put it in the private sector, hold them accountable for great, production, capital return, whatever it is, whether in agriculture, whether in real estate, whether in whatever those sectors are, put the money there, put real people there, hold them accountable so that more people can become employable. Rather than the government just because the government is its own corruption. The government of Liberia is its own corruption. People put themselves in position just to steal. And how is this country going to go anywhere? Look at the issue of the yellow machine. Look at the issue of the yellow machine. It is the talk of the time. The talk of the town. You want to procure instruments for the country in the name of development, but you want to do it in a surreptitious design. No head, no tail. The legislator Nathaniel Gates ain't signing nothing because he only needs already is being poor, so he's not signing nothing. So Moses, I'm just thinking about that. The government is the corrupter. The government cannot be the corrupter. The government must be the one implementing policies, following the rule of law, holding institutions accountable, and making sure that to be employed within a sector, it is rigorous, and whoever comes in there deserves to be there. Unfortunately, that is not the case.
And quickly, let me just say, Volcano, maybe the day we see a rigorous process in the hiring process, or in the recruitment of individuals in government. The day that time will come, when that happens in Liberia, maybe you and I may not be alive. And I'm not saying that we're going to die tomorrow, but honestly speaking, recruitment in Liberia is not based on merit. It's about party loyalty. You can have all the academic credentials, and someone say, "Oh, my man, have you forgotten that man was the one that was mobilizing people in Todi? That's the man as one as superintendent, even though the man is basically an elementary high school, a dropout. And they take this man and make him superintendent to administer a whole county.
All right. I think we're going
That's
seven.
the problem we
Yeah.
have.
Let me just take 5 seconds. 5 seconds.
Make
So
it
yes.
a minute. Since you took 5 seconds, I'll make it a minute. Go, gotta
Oh, you
break up.
want to make it a minute? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So the fact of the matter is this. That's why we have the civil service agency. The civil service agency is supposed to give people tests, and it used to happen. I hope it's still happening.
We
Um,
saw that. I even sat that test
yeah,
before.
used to give people tests. So the largest co-employees of government are civil service. The other people, ministers, assistant ministers, those are political appointments. Superintendents, those are political appointments. But the code, the largest component of government employees are
And who should it be?
civil
Superintendent
servants.
should be voted for, right?
Yeah, they may run the
Well,
whole
yeah,
country.
yeah. Well, I think
Now Ellen
we'll
Johnson
get
did
to that.
everything because she won't be iron
Yeah,
later.
unfortunately, yeah, I agree with you. Unfortunately, we're not there yet. But civil servants are the code, and civil servants go through the civil service agency. They take tests. When you take the test and you pass, then they hire you in that particular position. You take the test, you pass, then civil service says, "Oh, we have an opening at the Ministry of Labor for somebody who will be an inspector." You took the test, you passed, inspector position, civil service position, will send you there, and then the Ministry of Labor employs you. That's how it's supposed to be. And that's happened for a while in Liberia. I never saw it, but I have people, I know people, uncles, brothers who sat the civil service test, passed, and got employed as a consequence of that. I think a
Yeah,
lot of that was disrupted by the coup, but also by the war. So after
yeah,
the war, we start having these quasi governments and things. Civil service was non-existent. It was this, and that's what happened. So I'm hoping that it happens in our lifetime, Moses, where we can get civil service up and running again to be the force it is. So when agencies are hiring people, they got to go to the list of people who pass. It happens here in Pennsylvania. You want to work for the state of Pennsylvania, state of Delaware, whatever. They go to that list. You take that
Mhm.
civil service test, you pass, and then they go to that list.
Yeah.
And it's
yeah.
possible, it's practical. And that's how we can build a strong
You're wonderful,
and
my man.
competent civil service.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mm.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is joining us. Welcome to the Issues Room. This is our 245th broadcast here today. We are here just discussing training issues in Liberia. We're looking at
Put my light on.
emergence of the emergence of the Ministry of Finance and Development planning, from planning and economics affairs to Ministry of Finance now calling it the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, and whether it's meeting its responsibility with the combination of the two ministries. Tonight we are having a fundraising program broadcast, and we hope that all of you who have shown up here tonight will do this to help. We haven't come here to raise funds. The last time we were here is probably a year and a half, almost two ago, when we uh, put out a small SOS for the Liberia Returnee Network that was based in Liberia, but was helping with the structure and repatriation of Liberians from Ghana. But tonight we're going to go into the educational sector. We have our studio guest here. Let me bring her in, Ms. Menekeh PShorr Giddings. She is a former Liberian journalist, a member of the Association of Liberian Journalists here in Americas, who has gotten involved with humanitarian work in Liberia. And a component of that is to help rural schools in the country to raise money to help buy benches, chairs, educational and instructional materials for those schools in the rural area. Welcome to the show. Tonight we'll be quizzing you a little bit before we officially open the conversation here for the fundraiser. But it's good to see you and welcome, Menekeh. Good initiative. Thank you for reaching out to the issues room to help you initiate this venture. And let's hope that a lot of folks will buy into what you will be seeing here tonight. Your appeal. It will fall on good soil, and people will contribute here tonight. And we want to be specific. It doesn't have to be arm and a leg, like in the context of giving your widow's mite. Would appreciate it. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Moses. Thank you, Volcano. Thank you, Alphonso. I appreciate you all for giving me the opportunity to just meet you all on your show and talk about the work that we do in Liberia. It's an honor and privilege for me.
So let me just kick the ball since I'm in the lead, and then the other guys will come in. Let's start with the organization. Talk about the organization. When was it established? How you got involved, and you talked about their partners. So let's just sell this so that people will understand this initiative and be supportive of it.
Sure. So, One Bench got established as a result of a visit that I made in 2011 with the then government. We had the 2011 Independence Day, program in Lofa County. Originally, I am from Lofa County. So I left Lofa at a very early age. But fortunately for me, in our house, we have our aunts and others that still spoke Pede to us. So I, at least among my family members, my siblings, I am one of those, that kind of speak the Pede language. So I asked, when I went to Lofa, I asked a senior, mother of mine, and I asked her, where is my late mother's village? And she told me that your mom village is called Yapwa, and it's about walking distance. Situation there is deplorable. And I said that, but I cannot come to Lofa County and don't, have access to my grandmother's village, my mom's village. I cannot because my dad is from Sadaya district. So what she did was that she quickly gathered her rural women and they escorted me to Yapua. That town is a town where my grandmother had all of her kids. When I got there, I saw just a school sitting. I just could not believe it that in the day and age that we were in that village, students will still be sitting on the floor. If you had students sitting on the decks, they were like three or four. And then I felt moved. Someone said, your grandma was the matron, for this community. What it is can you do? I could have given maybe 200 or so from a DSA, but I felt that that wouldn't be a good idea because, the villagers, the teachers or so, Independence Day, everybody will, they will eat something. Our community, our community. But I didn't say anything. What I did was that I told them I was going to come back. That the lady who took me, she took me to my grandmother's house, and she said, "This is your grandmother. This is where she did this. This is where she did everything." So everyone in this village looked up to her. Fast forward, it didn't take long. I transitioned to the States. When I transitioned to the States, that was kind of on my mind. I was like, what can I do to help my community? Because I've had the opportunity. I have traveled. I've seen life. I wasn't the most, money person, but God was able to help us, go through our own challenges, and we were able to succeed. So I met a lady who, by the time she saw me, she's 88 years of age. By the
Wow.
time she saw me, she said, you're not from here, right?" In church, I said, "Yes, I'm not from here. I am just from Africa." And she said, "Oh, come and give me a hug. You know why? I have hosted over 75 African students. And those kids, they became my children across the world. I'm going to have you as one of my kids." And that was it. She invited my husband and I to a Thanksgiving dinner. I told her what my intention was at that time, and you wouldn't believe it. She was able to connect me to another lady who works for the Catholic Charities. So she invited all of us, and from there, one bench at a time was established. We are a registered 501c3 since 2011. She was very instrumental also in helping for us to raise money in our church. As a matter of fact, our priest decided to use one bench as an outreach program for the church. We did numerous fundraising. What we did also, we decided to identify a contact person in Liberia since I wasn't going right away. So we established a contact person. We established a bank where she's a signatory to that account. I am a signatory, and my co-founder is as well, signatory to that account. All of that we decided to start helping from out of our pockets. We started to make chairs. Her late husband, who just died a year ago, went ahead and made our first bench because here a lot of people did not know what we were talking about. And in order for them to have them buy in, we had to do something. And we did that. We did fundraising, we sent money. I mean, things have been, just like that. We've been helping. We've donated over 300 benches, but the situation just got worse every day. We realized that there were more schools that were in need. In fact, a lot of them were the primary schools. We still did not have money. Luckily for me, I'm grateful that, I have a very good husband who bought in to our project. And so what we did, we went ahead and we did a monthly contribution from his account. It wasn't much, but the fact that he decided to help out, we did a monthly contribution of $35 every month. It goes into one bench account, and we use that money. We wired the money from here, and we send it to our contact person. And it's been going well. We registered in Liberia. Unfortunately for us, I had a volunteer who was the country director for ZOA. He was based in Nigeria. But that boy just contributed his whole time to one bench. I just couldn't imagine, that someone would leave the work out of Liberia and just come in and focus on voluntary work or so without getting 5 cents or so everything was fine until, unfortunately for us, my volunteer passed away during the Ebola.
Sad to hear that.
Yes, his name is James Small. He passed away in Nigeria because he was flying to Liberia. So we can go ahead and see if we can do some fundraising to invite him over, because my mom, who I call Kay, and her family had decided that they were going to, have them to come over. And so James died. But before James died, he did an incredible job. He alone went to Lofa. He alone went and did an assessment. He alone went and said, you know why? We cannot succeed if we don't partner with organization. And since your dad is a product of LTI, why don't we partner with LTI? And I said, that's a good idea. So what we could do is we can raise the funds from here. We send the funds to our contact in Liberia, and that contact will then travel to LTI and then present the money to the carpentry department. So my partner and my co-founder, she thought that was a good idea because you know why? We were investing in the local economy. We did not go to Morovia to do the benches. We went to LTI, we established a sort of partnership with them and said, as long as your students can make these benches for us, we will continue to support you. And that became a very success story. I apologize. I don't have the time to show a couple of pictures, but there will be a major speech online.
Is there anything on your website, on your
Yes.
page?
Yes.
Some stuff on your Facebook page that I can surf to see.
Yeah. If you went on my Facebook page,
Okay.
you will see these are the benches that we made. So we made the
They are
benches.
blurred right now. So let him get them from your Facebook page.
Sure. Yes.
So quickly, instead of saying thing like LTI, is it a Lutheran Training Institute?
That is correct. And I apologize. I
Yes,
should have just,
Yeah.
go ahead to just
Mhm.
call. So yeah. So we decided to go with the LTI.
And the other thing I want to also quickly, as you continue, when you say schools, is it all the public schools?
So it depends the school. What we're doing is that we are trying to identify the most desperate schools.
So it doesn't matter public.
It doesn't matter whether it is public or not. But we have our own criteria so as to how a school can benefit. And that's not much. First of all, that school should have maybe a door, windows, or some kind of, form of security measure, because that's the village. When you take the school, you take the benches to the community members, they are also using those benches for the community events. So at times, some of those schools benches will be left over. So we work with the principal. The principal or our team goes to Lofa and take pictures of the schools. Based on that, they will give us a report and a recommendation. What we also did is that we reached out to our community leaders. Take, for instance, our senators, our representative. I can tell you in this public manner, Senator Cyrus Momo was someone who bought into this idea. Cyrus Momo gave us a donation of $1,000, for which we are grateful. We have our district representative. Our district representative has also given us a contribution of $500. So we are in the city, we are in Monrovia. We also said that, okay, now that we are trying to, kind of clip our, not spread our wings, we realized that the kids having the chairs and benches, there were also a problem. And one may ask, what is that problem? Most of the teachers that are currently teaching the students, a lot of them are barely high school graduates. A lot of them, they don't even know the subject and verb agreement like myself. So you see, we have a complex compound problem in our country. So what we did was that we went ahead, we decided to find a partnership with an organization that will, identify community members. And those community members should be passionate about what they do. So we have a partnership for Teach for Liberia. So Teach for Liberia is a non-profit organization that kind of solely provides support to community members that have interest of teaching in the community. First requirement, you have to be a college graduate. Once you're done with that, the next phase is that you have to attend a cohort support accredited by the Ministry of Education. Once you're done with the cohort support, the next phase is that you graduate or so, then Teach for Liberia will then, dispatch you to your community of interest. Teach for Liberia will pay them an amount of $250. They themselves, they don't have money. So they have a contract with these teachers, community teachers, for 2 years. After 2 years, you want to go back in the community and help the community improve their lives. It's almost a Peace Corps or so. Since charity begins at home, I'm from Lofa County. I said that, or me and my team, we said that, why? Let's start with Lofa County, because we have real issues in Lofa. We didn't have roads at that time. Students did not have food to eat. It was just a situation that we could not just describe. So what we did was that we decided, let's identify the poorer community, like the Bangwe, the Yapwa public schools. So these are the schools that we have been working with. We gave our first set of benches in 2011. We gave the first 300. We went ahead and provide additional 800 benches. But like I said, we have enormous problems or so. And this is the reason why we are here tonight.
Menekeh,
Yes.
So,
let me express.
quickly before you come in, we want to do a lot of talking because we got to open the line so that people will. I want to make sure that, because this is a fundraiser, if we utilize just for talking, then people, So I want to remind people the Cash App number is on the rolling, whatever on the running board, is 302. 4688 302 494 4688 is on the running board. You can see it there. I will also put it in the chat, and I would say right now, as the conversation begins or continues, rather, the line is open. The number to call is 404-272-2808, 404-272-2808. Please, whatever you can donate, Let's try to raise at least $1,000 here tonight. And I'm saying at least. I didn't say more than. I said at least. Let's start from there. Let's try to do that tonight. Please, Liberians, this is what we have to do. Our country is in dire straits. We it's not that we're poor, but our governance and corruption made us poor and continues to make us poor. And that is why we got to come people with us who have integrity, who believe in the principle of giving and giving for a worthy cause, need to contribute. So we encourage you tonight. Please,
Thank you.
please call in now. The number is open and make your donation. 404-272-2808, and we'll give you the Cash App number. Okay? Please call. Go ahead, Moses.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Menekeh, I want to express gratitude to you, publicly, and the others who are working with you on this project. I think that is laudable, and we really appreciate what you do for our people. The question I would like to put to you is, you know, uh, you're trying to reach the most challenging schools in the country. Do you have a team on the ground that is constantly monitoring how those benches are being utilized? Do you have a team on the ground that is coordinating, that is identifying schools so that your investment is not put to waste? Because someone maybe running a private school, raising so much money, and now the person comes and says, "Oh, well, Menekeh, we want you to, give us some benches." How do you really identify who benefits? Explain these things to us.
Thank you, Moses. So,
Mhm.
yes, indeed, we do have volunteers on the ground.
Okay.
Yes, we have a volunteer, and our lead volunteer on the ground, he is the country director for Street Kids. We also have another volunteer of ours. She is also the country director for Teach for Liberia. We also have a volunteer who is an accountant. He is the one who goes on the field with our ME volunteer. We have, and then we try to vet these schools. We are also partnering with the YMCA of Liberia. This is something that the YMCA of Liberia has bought in as well. So, once what we did, like I said earlier, was that some people reach out to us and say, "Oh, can you help me? Can you do this? Can you do that?" We didn't say no right away. We did a fat fanning mission. We just did that at least the last, I think, 2 or 3 months ago. That fat fanning mission was able to help us to determine the schools that are mostly in need. Again, our priority, I know someone will say, "Oh, but for me, or our priority is specifically for rural public schools." We do help with private schools. If, for instance, a private school will reach out to us, what we want to do is that you want to help us to give us a scholarship as part of the partnership. Give us a scholarship to help a child that is sitting on the floor. That's how we've been able to at least come up with those strategies or so. So yes, our volunteers, they can I can tell you, my volunteer is someone because they have the repetition online as well. So they communicate with us. We have a volunteer here in the States. We have Mr. Joe Macy. I have who is leading this whole process behind the scene. So Joe is the one who will help us go this place, that place, and then come back and say, these are the things that, we have to do. And I can tell you that with the help of these renowned volunteers, we have not had any problem because I'm in Liberia. I was in Liberia January. I'm going to be going October. Before we sign a partnership with LTI for the second phase, we want to make sure that funds also, goes through the Lutheran Church. Someone said, let's go directly to the school. But this is an issue that we have all volunteers. We will be in Monrovia in October, and then we will say, how do we go about for the second phase? But I
Let me
can
quickly say again tonight, this is not more of an interview to say, yeah, you can sit down and enjoy the thing. Call now. The number is posted 404-272-2808. Whatever you can contribute, folks. Let's do something here for our young people. We say we want to get the Zogos rehabilitated. Some of them it's late for them. The younger little ones now, who we should invest in, put more into their education so that they can inherit our country tomorrow and take it to another level. When you and myself gone, we're appealing to you. Please call. Please call. It's just 30 seconds. Say, my name is John Brown. I contribute this amount and I will post it to the chat, cash
Yeah,
to the cash,
cash out.
and you
yes.
go ahead and do it. We say
And
we're not putting any price tag on this thing. We want us to come together and do something. Please, the Nika friends, members of Aja who are listening tonight and watching, all of you in the communities around America, and who told you that the people in Liberia ain't got money too? This
Oh
is
yeah, wherever you are.
so please let's not turn this into an interview and talking plenty. We won't hear from y'all too, please.
thank you. Thank you. So if
Yeah.
you take a look at the photos on the flyers, I can just talk a little bit about these photos. When we went to LOFA initially to do the assessment, the second to the right or the last picture on your right or so, if you see with the black bowl and you see the seating tire and everything, that's how we met most of the classrooms.
This one right here.
Yeah,
This is
this
where
one
my
right
cursor
here. That's how we met
one.
most of the classrooms.
This one right here.
Leaking. Yep, it was leaking. Then we said, what do we do? So after we met with LTI, then LTI made these first set of benches.
The one to the left here, where my
Yep,
cursor is on.
yep. LTI, because we wanted some kind of emergency, stuff.
And
So
this
LTI,
picture right here on the far right is the offloading of the pickup or truck putting the benches down.
yes. So after we made these benches, then the LTI went to the school or the village, which is Yapua, and offloaded these benches. They offloaded led to these students sitting on the benches. This was our first intervention. That was our first intervention. And since then, we have been providing copybooks, chairs. We realized that if you provided all the benches, some of the classrooms, the teachers, you know, they don't have anything. So we will identify the schools and see besides chairs and benches, are there maybe some kind of emergency need that we can help out with. So this is what we have been doing. The cost before that, the cost of a bench was $25 because we had LTI kind of subsidizing at that time. But with the current situation, LTI is not. LTI doesn't even have money. And if we want to empower our local economy, the best we can do is to see how we can help the students make those benches and, leave the money in the community. So we put that up after the assessment to $40. One may ask, why $40 per bench? A bench, to make a bench, is inclusive of making the bench, transportation, and helping to buy copybooks soon. So that's the cost of our, of our benches or so. We've been grateful to a couple of partners who have been, individuals who has been very supportive to the work we do. But we still have a lot to do. We've come today to ask you because July 2nd, I turned 50. And there is something that also moved me as well. There was this little boy years back who came from a village that was like 2.5 hours walk away from his village to the town where the school was. And no one wanted to, venture out, to go out. But he decided to say, you know what? I'm going to go to school no matter what. He started going to school without shoes. He
Hmm.
went and made farm and bought a single barrel gun. That single barrel gun was the one that was helping him, if there were any attack or so. He would remove his shoes and his uniform and put it in the backpack and put his single barrel gun, and he would walk 2.5 hours to go and 2.5 hours to come back, because at that time his parents did not have a school in the town. That young man's friends used to laugh at him. They called him the single barrel student. That young man went on to graduate from LTI from 8th grade or 9th grade, and he moved to Morovia. He went to become a geologist in this day and age. Unfortunately for that young man, he had no sympathy for someone who came and was crying, because he tells people, or he told people, you know, I can make it. I made it. But I expect that you. So we refer to him as General Douglas. Because if General Douglas told you, let's meet at 5:30, 1 minute late, he's gone. And he became a geologist. There was a minister at that time who saw him and decided to help him and took him to stay with him. And he went on to become a geologist. Unfortunately for that young man, he did not live to see his children graduate from high school. That young man I'm talking about is my father, the late Peter PShorr. My father suffered. And as someone who God has blessed with some form of opportunity, why can't we help someone? There are so many kids in Lofa, rural Liberia, and other places that are like my father. They want to learn, but they don't have that conducive learning environment. Think about how my father has to work 2.5 hours every day, taking the risks and everything. My father went on to become the only person in his family to have graduated from high school, the only person in his family to have obtained a college degree, his only person in his town to have obtained a high school and a college degree. So when I'm doing this, someone asks me, why are you doing this? You could have gotten a government job in Liberia. That's true. Government comes, government goes. What are you contributing to the development of your country? What are we doing?
All
You
right,
could
so let's do this one, Menekeh. Call me some names here. Let me call them live now. Meaning, when I say call them, say the name so that we can have them contribute. Because if this was politics,
Yep.
or if we're talking like Prophet Key, just
Mm-hmm.
say that I get Prophet Key free money.
Yep.
Then when it comes to education, y'all get Costa all that money for free.
Yep.
Then when it comes to education for the small children, then y'all ain't want to do anything yet.
Yep.
It's a shame. I'm telling you, you're making me shame.
So while Menekeh looking for names, let me call some names.
Yeah,
We have
Roman,
we have
come
some
on.
we have some
Hashem,
people who are. I will
Yako, you
begin from the yep. I will begin from the people who are tuned in here. Raymond Clark, Hashem Fambula, Yakayu Harris, John.
forget what I other man. We in Kenya, who they begging for?
Oh, John McCory. You were in Kenya. You
Yeah.
can somebody forget. Lamenta Iflomo Livingstone, Melapile Kisumo, Bernard O'Connor, Flomo Livingstone, Abraham Bly, Yvonne Iyo, Christopher Wesley, Abraham, or I call Abraham Bly, I call the gentlemen and ladies, y'all start contributing. And I also want to call some agile people too now.
And that's what I'm about to do right
But
away.
you Moses, you the agile big man. You start calling some
The
agile people
president
names.
is married to
Yep.
who they begging for a starter.
No,
Moses, you the agile big man.
no. I think the names are out there, but let me start with our officer in charge, Mr. Joey Kennedy. If you are watching this podcast, we are asking you. We come knocking on your door. to help our sister Menekeh. Uh, Mr. Joe Mason, wherever you are, I know you are indeed a volunteer. But Mr. Mason, please, as former president, we come knocking on your door. Dr. Sam Johnson. Dr. Johnson, a PhD is no joke, and that is just within your domain. So, Dr. Johnson, we appreciate if you can just call in and pledge at least $500.
Oh,
You know, oh yeah, the man is a PhD. So I
Jackson,
want for Dr. Johnson to come and and contribute to this.
funny, Moses, don't come talk story
don't
yet.
see it
Mr.
that way. Any
Jackson,
small
Mr.
money.
get
We
up.
have Wilma
Mr.
Caillou.
Mr. Jackson Seaton, Mr. Wilmer Caillou, Mr. Lawrence uh Bryant, I mean Lincoln Bryant,
Alex Red, Dr.
um
Red.
Dr.
Oh,
Ellis Ray, Reverend Sua Dede,
yes.
Mr. Gadiel Woosin, all
And
our other brothers, Mr. Samuel Abu, Madam Melissa Chie, even myself, Moses Sandy, and let me make this commitment. I think that what you're doing is laudable. So for now, I will pledge, some of the $5 to your initiative. Let me
thank you.
start with myself. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
So I want to say something about all the names that you we are calling. Almost all of them they've made commitments.
So Flomo
Okay.
Livingstone, hold on, hold
Yeah.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Flomo Livingstone. All day you calling to defend Bwaka. You say you support yellow machine, but you can't support the street. Eh? And then
But
we need to
Meflobo, you gotta drive something here tonight.
support in yellow machine where you know where the money coming from to take care of yellow. You need to contribute to school. Please, my man, call here. Small thing, by yeah, call. He said I support
Oh,
yellow machine. Oh,
So
like
on July 13, which is this Saturday, since I turned 50, I'm the youngest 50 on the block. Mhm. Yes. And like I told Moses, you people will not say I'm small again because I was tired of hearing every day, you need to move from here. You need to move from here. So at least I am 50. So what we
yeah.
thought to do as part of our 50th celebration, which we're going to be climaxing on Saturday, we will be having a fundraising and a big 50th celebration. That will be at 4620 Independence Avenue North, New Hope, Minnesota, 55428.
Okay.
I have the Professor Momodu Dudu. Professor will be coming at least to encourage us to tell people the importance about us supporting our rural programs. I know that a lot of people do have concerns, you know, how we missed money in Liberia or how we mismanaged money in Liberia. That was the reason why we decided to bring in professional colleagues, people that we know that they have credibility outside there. When someone hears about Joe Mason, you ready to Joe Mason going to take $20 to eat? No. If someone heard about Dr. Alexander Johnson, Dr. Johnson is in Iowa. He is the former chairman of the Federation of Lothians in the Americas. Dr. Johnson is our board member, and he is someone who is on top of us, ensuring that the purpose for which we've collected whatever funds, they are used for the intended purposes. So, as time goes on, right after that, Mr. Macy and our financial team, he will be flying in, I think, this week. We'll meet here in Minnesota to come out to do a report and tell everyone what your donation did. Someone gave you a donation of 500, that is tax deductible contribution. We will send you a letter and then give you our details so you can claim us as part of your contribution to us. I'm going to stop for a while.
thank you again. Listen, folks, man, this is not encouraging. A lot of you are dead. Stop fence sitting. Stop. start to contribute, whatever it is. If it is a dollar,
Yeah.
you see the other institutions here in the country for cancer society fighting this, fighting that. Those people raise monies upon monies. And some of you Liberians in this country are contributing to those initiatives. How about your own? You got to understand this thing is not about everything government can do. And so this young woman decided to uh, see the need and establish something at least to give back. We've shown you evidence. She's credible. The issues room will not bring anyone here who's gonna just solicit money to put in their pockets. She's named some of the great people who are working alongside her with a great degree of extreme credibility. So we want you to support. It would be a shame that no one calls here tonight just to make a small contribution. And we know a lot of you are watching. A small contribution. Please, someone take the initiative. We don't have to shame you. We don't have to call your name, but we're doing it because we think that this is a lofty cause and is for the betterment of our country. Please, 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 let's do something.
Oh,
Just a
I,
small
I, I
contribution.
see that a cash app payment just came in. And,
Wait, wait,
someone just made a cash app payment, but I'm not able to look at it right now. But I
okay.
can tell you that our payment has come in.
All
Okay.
right.
Yep.
So we
Thank
want to
you.
thank you.
We can get
Thank
those
you so
details
much.
for you.
Christopher
Mhm.
Wesley is saying,
Thank
yeah,
you so much. And whatever that made that payment, if you can just write a post how much you deposited into the account, let us know. Thank you so much.
Christopher Wesley says, I embrace the initiative, Mrs. Giddings, supporting the rural schools, but I'm in Australia and we do not have Cash App here. How do I contribute? I would suggest you open a GoFundMe page to contribute. This is not only about me. There are others in Australia. So that's
Yeah.
something you can think about too.
Yes, we had a
Okay.
GoFundMe page. So we are in the process of reactivating the GoFundMe page. Yes.
So hopefully you can get all those things done. And
Hopefully, yes, we can get all those done. My colleague or my partner, she's in France and she will be back. So we will sit now and then just do our GoFundMe page. We have one, but that was deactivated. So we want to reactivate our GoFundMe page. And
thank
have
you, Christopher. Thank you for putting that out there, and we appreciate. If have you had you rather been able to do something about contributing tonight? Again, the Cash App number is 302-494-4688. The number to call 404-272-2808. Please make your contribution. Let's not continue to talk politics. Then, when it comes to the initiatives to change the trajectory of the country and bring good result, especially for our young people, then we shy away, then we want to hide under the canopy of, oh, I know the show are on. No, the show is on. And you there, many of you are there.
Yeah.
Take the shame from our face. Take the shame from our
Yeah.
again
Please,
the call.
please, guys, help out.
Alfonso,
We want everyone wants to contribute.
you've been silent a little bit.
Go
Yeah,
ahead, Alphonso.
yeah. So I wanted to say a few things. I know Menekeh has talked about some of those things. The question I had for her was, what are the other, avenues of contributions and of generating funds? She's touched on some of them. She talked about the 50th birthday celebration. She also talked about the GoFundMe. I think part of the reason is, people come to this show perhaps not fully prepared to make contributions, but as they go back and think about it, and go to the GoFundMe and other platforms that might be able to contribute. So if you have other fundraising things coming up, you talk about a birthday. Maybe you want to talk about it and let people know where they can go to make contributions to this effort. Other thing I wanted to talk about is you mentioned a senator and a representative from Lofa County contributing to the fund. I think it's great. And you're probably a non-advocacy organization to go out there and say, publicly you'll do this and do that. But private public partnership is always critical. That's what drives things in this country and other countries
yeah.
around the world that are successful.
Yep.
Is there any conversation with legislators and other leaders from the area that you cover for them to put money in the budget, national budget, for your organization? I know governments do give. We talk about it. Volcano mentioned it. Governments do give NGOs money sometimes to carry on stuff. Schools, Catholic schools, Methodist schools, those schools used to get subsidies from government because government can't run all the schools in the country. Yeah, you are undertaking a very lofty cost. Are these senators and legislators, have you talked to them about A, putting money in the budget that would just provide benches for those schools so that you're not even struggling to do that? Or at least helping to give your organization some visibility or some funding to do the work that you're doing, since government alone cannot do all of that? Is that something your organization is thinking about doing?
Okay, thank you, Alfonso. So let me first of all just address the issue of um, other means of giving. You can give us by Zelle. You can give at Zelle 612-298-3302. That's our Zelle account. It goes directly to one
Can
bill
you
at a
hold
time.
on, hold on, hold on? Can you hold on 1 second? I just want to type that into the stuff, and I'm sure Volcano will mention that too. But what was the
Okay.
number?
Six
Six
one
one
two
two
two nine eight three
nine
three
eight
zero two.
02. Okay, so Zell at 612-298-3302.
That is correct.
Okay.
Then you can always give using our one bench at a time code. You can always use give by PayPal. You can just click on that link, that code that is on the flyer, and once you click on it takes you directly to the one bench website. I was talking to our web manager. I think he we kind of experiencing huge traffic. So our web manager had told me today he was trying to update the page. So just in case we have someone on the page, it's only because they are trying to update the page because of the huge traffic that we did not anticipate. But you can always give by using that the QR code that is on the flyer. You can also give by the way of Cash App, which is 612-298-3302. So that's one phase. When it comes to partnering with the government of Liberia, I would love to. Equally so, I want to also be careful because partnership has a couple of noise behind it. You need to study, or we need to study all of the variables involved. We have gone ahead with written um uh, uh, um what his name the Mr. I don't want to call names, but I can tell you we have written prominent government officials. As a matter of fact, we have one of them that has decided to just pay for 4 or 5 chairs out of her own pocket or so. We are, however, when you are not in the country, it becomes a problem. But we have scheduled a couple of appointments, and once we land into Liberia, we have our senator or our district representative who has promised us, because he's going to be coming here to escort us. At any point in time, we could call the president's office, but we also want to ensure that there is respect and decency for the president. Hopefully, he hears it and give some of us a call. And I'm sure he has some representatives that have already started to reach out to us. But I don't want to go through into details because that will be, premature to just disclose things that has not materialized yet.
So
Yeah,
again, quickly, Alfonso, I really want to
yeah,
hopefully get someone to call here tonight. This is not politics. This is serious stuff. We need to give back to society, especially when it comes to educational initiative. All of us wouldn't be here tonight if we were not educated and learned. And so, whatever
Absolutely.
we contribute, we have to, and especially our society, considering the illiteracy rate. And when you see someone who has learned, Menekeh could have going her own cocoon or silo and say, "Oh, I have arrived. I've made it across the Atlantic. Let
Hmm.
people live on the other side in the heat. I'm here. I'm in the cold." And but she went back and she saw the need, and this is an initiative. Somebody asked a question: uh, How much does one bench cost?
$40. That's the initial contribution or cost of one bench. $40.
So, gentlemen, ladies, $40. We in the diaspora. $40 is just a drop in the bucket. If you just buy one bench, you've made an impact. How many students can sit on one bench? Maybe five, right?
Yes. So what we want to do is we want to have at least three students sitting on the bench. At least three. Because it's so uncomfortable to have 4 or 5 students sitting on one bench. So at least we want to do three students. And if we can make some chairs or so, we can do one chair, per the students.
Well,
And
I
you know,
want.
Moses, before you come in, I'm
Mhm.
baffled here with the behavior of our folks, the viewers, those who are listening and watching. You guys will contribute money to Darius Dillon campaign.
Yep.
You guys will contribute money to Joseph Barker campaign. Now he president, he ain't even care about you. I'm saying it in emphatic term, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
The same for Darius Dillon. Now he's not turn from light to candle. He was light bulb, now he candle light. Now the flame is dimming, the light will soon go off because he's all in some kind of deal now. The corruption now cover his suit. You raise money for Prophet Key, and he brags about it. You buy him a Range Rover.
Wow.
You build you raise money for our boy Henry Costa. He paid for a house here in America. He live a lavishing life. He brags about it. And you can pay money, $40 for one bench, that you can call here tonight and make that contribution. And sorry for using you guys, but you are public figures. We have to reference you, President Barker. We have to reference you, politicians who come to these platforms to raise money. We have to reference you. And here we have a major initiative to purchase a bench that will sit or seat rather two or
At most
three or four.
3 or 4.
Yeah,
At least.
you can't $40. You can't call here tonight, but just if we're talking politics, we're talking CDC, UP, and ANC. You guys ready to call in and make your opinion? This is I am surprised. That is why, I don't know where we're going to go with this, but I will implore that all of you who are watching here tonight, if it's $1 for the numbers I see here tonight, we'll get few dollars. If it's $5, we'll raise something. If it's $10, we'll raise something. Whatever it is, it's just a cash app. Just
Yep.
go to 302-494-4688. Stop giving your monies to politicians. They have stolen enough. They should
Yep.
be able to generate their own support for their campaigns. Don't be giving your money to politicians. Put it into education. Put it into our young people. These are the people we can save now. These are the people we can rescue now. This rescue train fighting with Zogos. They've forgotten that the little kindergarten us, the kids who are, you know, 5, 6, 7 years old who are sitting on the ground who barely found something to eat, but yet they have that insatiable desire to assimilate in the classroom and make it out of it. We need a support. Please, man, come on. How much more can we beg you? How much is $10? How much is $5? How much is $1? If all of you on the platform tonight can make a contribution, a bare minimum contribution, we can walk away here with something. We may
Yep.
get 5 benches. That's good enough. It's better than nothing.
Yep.
Please, calling. It doesn't have to be about politics. Please, calling.
And I just want to announce that the person who made a payment via Cash App is the issues run Alfonso,
Oh, okay.
and $50.
Oh, thank you, Alfonso.
Yeah, you know.
Good.
The,
So
the, the
thank you
intention
so
was
much,
to
Alfonso.
leave it.
Well, thank you,
Okay.
Alfonso.
The intention
Mhm.
was to leave it anonymous, but you pressed 75. I couldn't go over you, but the idea was for it to be anonymous. But it's all right.
Well, okay, I apologize, but for the purpose of accountability,
No,
you
no,
know,
no, it doesn't
it's
have to.
Yeah.
No, you don't call
yeah.
people because of accountability.
No,
Number is
y-
good enough. That's all.
yeah,
Just call.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
So,
People.
Menekeh, quickly, let me just say this. We are appealing to all of our brothers and sisters, wherever you are, even if you are on the cloud, we are taking as low as $2. You have $2, you have, $5, $15, whatever that the Lord touches your heart to do tonight. We're appealing to you to contribute to this initiative.
But even if you don't call in, just go ahead
Yeah,
and do as Alfonso has done, rather
quietly. Yeah.
go into the Cash App
Mhm.
30294 and just say for one bench. That's all you need
Yes.
for one
Mhm.
bench initiative. One bench,
Just do that. We are taking that. You
$40
know.
is the cost of a bench. Please, man, my people, man, don't. What type of country is this? You can get money
That
for
we are so mean to ourselves.
yeah, you can get money for politicians, but when it comes to educational initiative, your money too high. Come on now. What type
Yeah, what about country is this, man? But hey, I know our people can do it. Our people can do it. Obviously, they're not going to let us down tonight. I can assure you, our people will step up to the place.
where are the friends of
No?
Menika? Where are the friends? Menika,
Yeah, where are the friends?
friends of Menike.
But Menekeh, where are the people of Minnesota, the Liberian
they are
community?
coming. The Liberian community, I can tell you that half of them they've made commitments.
Oh, okay. That's
Yes,
good.
yeah. Our officer
But
in charge
making
will be there.
commitment are one thing. Coming here and making yourself your
I
presence.
know. Yes,
If
our
even your
officer in
$5,
charge has a contribution. We have couple of people who are bringing their contribution in person because
Okay.
besides the fundraising, we're gonna be giving out awards. Those who
Okay.
have stuck with us, along the way. Especially those of us that went to Liberia and other stuff, people left from here and they follow us to Liberia. We will be
That's
recognizing
good.
them, as well. We have couple of, we sent that out already. We have, so I am not giving excuse, but I am still here to beg people, please help us. $1 can help us. You don't have to give $40, but if you can give $1 could go a
That will
long
do a lot.
you know,
Yeah.
for
Mhm.
someone in rural Liberia. So, help us help our country and our people and our children.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
if
So
we can
it's a
stay here
whole
all night, it's past our broadcast time. And so
sure.
people don't want to call in. Let's
Mhm.
hope that they will pick up on the Cash App number. They will pick up on the Zelle number, which is 612 2983302. 612 They will also look at the Cash App number 302 is this 64688, right?
Yes,
Yes.
for 688.
Yeah, so 494 4688, which is 302, area code 302. So again, we want to thank you so much. It's a
Thank you.
shame.
Okay, another cash app just came in.
Okay,
You know,
but I'm disappointed,
someone
brother.
someone just contributed something.
Thank you.
You know, and the person wants to be private.
Okay.
That's why I
Thank
said
you.
if you see the number, you can just call. You don't have to call the person's name.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I don't know, but yeah, I hope that's cash app. It's a message that just
Oh,
came. Yeah.
okay. So this is an ongoing fundraising event.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are hopeful that after Saturday, there will be more, additional fundraising for us. We can always, hope for that those who might not have the opportunity to give today, you can always give in your near future.
Absolutely.
And I want to say
Absolutely.
thank you to everyone who joined us. Thank you to those who joined us from TikTok. We had a fundraising on TikTok last week, and that was awesome. We want to say thank you as well.
And want to say thank you too, Menekeh, for the good you continue to do for our people.
Thank
You
you.
know what you have just narrated tonight, it speaks volumes about what is happening in rural Liberia in terms of education.
Yep.
To go to schools and you see ceilings, falling, the kids are literally sitting on the floor. That just means that our political leaders need to step up to the place.
Oh,
This all can be about politics. It's about the good of the people. And we are happy that you and others are stepping up to fill this void. Thank you so much for the good work.
thank
Thank you,
you.
Dr. Red, for your
Thank you, Dr.
contribution.
Rare.
I'm sure that it will be picked up on the other end. Thank you so much for doing
Thank
this.
you, Dr. Red.
Yep, Dr. Rare is heading for this event as we speak.
Okay.
He has a major role. He has done a video recording, asking people, why they should support One Bench. So, like I said, we have people with integrity, helping us or supporting us along the way. I'm grateful to you, Dr. Rare. Thank you to Joe. Thank you to everyone. I know Kelvin. Thank you so much. It's a family thing. That's the agile stuff. But we want to say
Yeah.
thank you to everyone, you know. So
Yeah. And our chapter president in Minnesota, Success Minor, we're asking you to step up tonight. Come and drop something in the bucket. Yeah.
success coming.
Yeah.
All right, Manika, we'll
Yeah.
take care of you. We got to
Thank
wrap up
you.
here tonight.
Yep.
We
Mhm.
appreciate you coming in. We appreciate the initiative. I
Thank
will do
you.
my part behind the scene, but I was hoping that of all that we've done here as an issues room, that we
Yep.
would have had some kind of contribution coming in from our audience. It's sad
Yeah.
that country has turned into a political machinery. There's nothing called a social responsibility anymore. And I'm not going to mince my word here tonight. I'm disappointed. I expected people, we said, even as bare minimum as a dollar, and no one made that effort. I am very, very ashamed to be here on the issues room tonight. We didn't do well. Our audience didn't do well. Liberians didn't do well, and I'm not going to, you know, say sorry for it. I feel
But
bad. I feel
but
you
Volcano oil is not lost. And
Yep.
we still got many days ahead.
we said in the moment a dollar would have made a difference. That's all I'm saying. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm saying,
So
yeah,
I'm gonna take an exit. I have
yeah, yeah. You're good.
another
We,
meeting
we're
and I
gonna
want
let
to
you
say
go.
thank
Good night. Good night.
Thank you.
Good. You're good. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, man, let's just do this thing quick. And I just think we should just call it a night. I
Oh
don't
yes.
do
Yeah, I
whatever.
think we should. Yeah.
I don't want to do nothing else. I just want to go because I'm not feeling good about the way
Yeah.
that folks did not call in or contribute, since it was not political in nature. I'm disappointed, quite frankly.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
guys. It was a pleasure.
Uh, Thank you, everyone who showed up here. At least your presence was necessary, but your contribution, we didn't feel it, and you could have done something tonight. And I'm not going to pretend here. I feel very disappointed. In our audience and everyone who listened, even a dollar bare minimum would have made a difference. However, you can still redeem yourself and make me feel good that when we come back here on Friday, we can say more people
Thank you.
on. I'm coming, Moses. More people later on contributed. Uh, so the Cash App number remains the same. It's 302-494-4688. If you don't remember it, go back to the past broadcast and find it from there. See it in the comment. And the Zelle number is 612-298-3302. Please, you still have the opportunity to redeem yourself. Thank you, gentlemen. Any final word? One minute quick. Let's go.
For me, I just want to say
I
thanks
think that
to Menekeh for what she's doing, and thanks to the Issues Room for hosting Menekeh. And I know we didn't meet our target, but it is still not late. I know our people will step up to the place the next time we come by.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mhm.
it's a worthy cause, and
30 seconds. We
I,
can
I,
30
I
seconds
wish
in 5 minutes.
yeah, it's a worthy cause, and I wish Monica well. But as I said, and as Moses said, everybody, maybe people were not prepared to contribute immediately, but the information is available. So go back and make a contribution to this very worthy cause.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Okay. Good night.